Accurate, reliable, getting the facts right. News 5 in high definition starts right now.
Good evening. Happy 4th of July. Thanks for joining us for News 5 tonight at 11. I'm Julie Newman. And while many of us waited to watch the parades, the concerts, and the fireworks this evening, a different watch party in New York City. Several protesters climbing the Statue of Liberty with a sign saying, "Abolish ICE." John Lornick has more.
A protester spent her Independence Day 150 feet above ground at the feet of Lady Liberty.
And then we looked up, and at the bottom, like where the green meets like the cement part of the statue, you saw at first we thought it was a man, but I learned it was a lady. So she was like waving her shirt, waving her hand.
The woman spent hours hugging the statue's copper robes, finally settling into a crevice under her sandal. The demonstrators gathered on Liberty Island to protest the separation of migrant families. An event organizer said the woman's climb was not a planned part of the protest. Authorities tried to talk the woman down. She refused, telling police she wouldn't come down until, quote, all the children are released.
It was a really tactical rescue just because of the slopes up there. I mean, it wasn't a flat surface. There was nothing for Chris and I to grab onto.
Liberty Park was quickly evacuated
and could see the helicopters and knew that something was going on.
The New York Police Department used a harness and ropes to bring her down.
I think the turning point was that we had a good rapport with her. And, you know, when we got her and she couldn't go any further, I think she realized that, you know, her time was up there.
She was taken into custody about 3 hours after the ordeal began. John Lawrence, News 5 WCYB.
Thousands of people in Johnson City celebrating the 4th of July at the 33rd annual Pepsi Independence Day celebration. There was plenty of music, food, family fun, and of course, fireworks. Officials with Freedom Hall estimate about 75,000 people came out to enjoy the festivities in Johnson City. And there is something for people of all ages to enjoy at this event.
It's the 4th of July and my family's here and everyone's having a good day because it's America's birthday.
I think it's been really successful because we've been consistent and it's been year after year after year. And we actually start getting phone calls probably this next week asking when we're going to have it next year.
Some fun giveaways at tonight's event, including a car and a Pigeon Forge vacation. And for those of you who haven't cracked a history book in quite a while, Independence Day was supposed to happen on July the 2nd. However, founding fathers couldn't agree on the wording, and so it was finished on July 4th. Bristol had its Star-Spangled Parade earlier today, and here are some sights and sounds and some pretty funny interviews from News 5's PJ Johnson.
The red, white, and blue eyebrows and the bows in the hair?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Gotta be festive. If I'm gonna watch this parade, I gotta look good.
Hello, how are y'all?
Do you know why you have that bow in your hair? Are you celebrating a birthday of sorts today? Maybe our nation? Oh.
Happy 4th of July! Happy
4th! Tell me the truth, though. You're really here just for the candy.
Yeah. Since I just finished one.
That's a sweet little ride. What is this? About a 73? Oh, I'm like, yeah. You got it. Yeah.
Have to look good to celebrate our nation's birthday. How about that drone footage? Pretty amazing. Also, how about some fun at Rocky Fork State Park today? Seasonal ranger Gary Purchase spent part of his day today throwing tomahawks. You can see the targets that he has pinned there. A couple of old-fashioned British redcoats. Target practiced like local soldiers would have participated during the revolution. He may not have hit the bullseye, but it stuck to the target anyway. All right, the celebrations are not quite over yet. There are still several slated for this weekend. If you're looking to extend your 4th of July fun, we have a full list of events on our website, WCYB.com. And don't forget, we want to see your pictures of your celebration. Just go to WCYB.com/chime in and upload all of your pics. The record high temperature tied for a second day in a row. Chief Meteorologist Dave Dirks joining us now. Dave, will we make it 3 in a row?
Probably not, but it was plenty hot and will be plenty hot again tomorrow. As you mentioned, we reached another record level today as the temperature reached 95, and that tied the record set back in 2012. And it has been 6 consecutive days now that we have been at or above 90 degrees in the Tri-Cities. So is that a record? Is it close to a record? Not even close. Our record is 20 days in a row, set back in August of 2007. I think we may do it again tomorrow to make it day 7. Going to start out on the muggy side. We're in the upper 70s to low 80s, currently dropping down to about 70 for a low tonight. The bottom line, my friends, is hope you had a happy 4th. The weather pretty much cooperated. Heat continues for one more day, but Julie, big changes are on the way. I'll have the timing of some rain and cooler temperatures heading for the Tri-Cities in my Storm Track 5 7-day forecast.
Dave, thank you. 20 days is a record we do not want to break. A woman accused of robbing a Radford, Virginia gas station at knife point has been arrested in Bristol, Virginia. Police say Natalie Ramirez mentioned having to get to Bristol during her holdup, and within hours, police say a vehicle matching the description of the one involved in the robbery spotted at a Bristol apartment complex. Multiple $5 and $20 bills scattered inside. Police say Ramirez came out of her apartment wearing the same clothing Radford authorities had described the robber wearing. Currently, she's being held without bond. The challenging of a new law giving Virginia officials the ability to suspend driver's licenses for those with unpaid criminal or traffic court debt is now being challenged. All this after a federal judge rules a similar Tennessee law is unconstitutional. More than 40 states allow license suspensions for unpaid court debt. A legal aid group estimates that nearly 1 million people in Virginia have suspended licenses, at least partially due to unpaid court debt. Kingsport is moving forward with plans to move City Hall after a vote by the city's board of mayor and aldermen. So far, only a preliminary vote has been taken on the funding of the purchase of the property. Board members voted unanimously to pay $2.7 million cash to buy the 415 Broad Street building from Regions Bank. A second vote is required before finalizing the purchase. Renovations and the move of city offices are expected to take up to 2 years. The facelift is now complete for an iconic Kingsport statue. A new head for Big John. The statue outside Pratt's Barbecue was just unveiled this afternoon. The head on the 10,000-pound concrete statue was replaced after it broke off and fell from old age. A surge in solar energy is a game changer in a fire, making it harder to keep you safe. As Erica Kerr shows us, there are some ways to save money safely and even make money from your solar panels.
It only took them 2 days to do the installation.
Wow. Greg Wathen has about 36 panels on his roof in Hermitage, each weighing about 40 pounds. 1,400 pounds altogether, the weight of a baby elephant or 2 grand pianos. But that much extra weight on his roof has never really been a concern for him.
Was concerned a little bit about the impact on our insurance, our house insurance.
Not a lot of people think about it, so the Tennessee Fire and Codes Academy is schooling firefighters on solar panels as one of the main topics in safety this year, hoping to avoid accidents like a roof collapse.
Captain Command, we've had a second collapse. I don't know if anybody's heard or not.
This fatal roof collapse in February 2017 did not involve solar panels, but collapses due to solar panel weight is one of the biggest concerns for the Tennessee Fire and Codes Academy. In this roof collapse, 38-year-old Lawrenceburg firefighter Jason Dickey died fighting a large blaze with several other firefighters in the dark night. Several weeks later, the State Fire and Codes Academy says a tragedy like this is an even greater possibility with solar panels.
That's a concern, especially with the lightweight construction that's being used on some of the Class 5 type structures.
A load study showed Wathen's roof is built to sustain that, but older homes may not be. In most cities now, there are requirements to leave rescue and escape paths near windows and keep a distance from the edge of the roof line for firefighters to walk. And solar companies are on board, using special equipment to cut off power in an emergency and doing all the installations themselves so they're done right.
But understanding all the nuances of how to do that correctly and how to do it safely, not only for the firefighters, but now you're interconnecting with the grid and making sure that you're doing what you need to do with the local power company is important.
Those solar panels require new firefighting strategy. Even firefighters will tell you that's no reason to not go solar.
I think it is a viable alternative to energy, and I think we can all work together on it.
Now, if you ever have a fire with panels on your home, please alert firefighters right away so they know what to look for. And still ahead on News 5 tonight at 11, change is coming if you fly out of the Tri-Cities airport. We have more about new planes you might see on your route. Plus, a sweet reunion after more than a month apart, why this man and his adorable dog were separated in the first place. Stay with us.
We Salute You is brought to you by Johnson City Honda.
Time now for our salute to local veterans. Tonight we're recognizing Charles Weinberger from Bristol, Tennessee. He served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. Charles Weinberger, we salute you. Kingsport chose a unique person to be the Grand Marshal of this year's 4th of July parade. Ken Lane is a Marine veteran who served 31 years in the military, and now he's fighting ALS. It's a disease that slowly paralyzes its victims, and there is no known cure. Lane served in both Vietnam and Iraq, retiring from the military in 2008. He says he is humbled to be in the parade that he has attended pretty much his entire life. It is the end of an era for those flying to and from the Tri-Cities today, marking the last flight of a well-known plane. News 5's Ricky Matthews was there this afternoon as it took off from the Tri-Cities airport one final time.
It's the end of an era at the Tri-Cities airport as the final Dash 8 departs to Charlotte.
It's extremely special to me because this is actually where I was born and raised.
For pilots and passengers, this last flight is special.
I've been on the airplane for 7 years. I can't imagine flying another airplane.
The Dash 8 has been a staple of transport into and out of the Tri-Cities with its turboprop engine. And through it all, the Dash has been a workhorse of aviation.
I wouldn't have wanted to spend 7 years on it if I didn't want to trust my life every day with it. It's been one of the best airplanes I've ever flown, the safest regional aircraft by far that I'm aware of.
For passengers, the aircraft will now change.
Tri-Cities Airport will be all jet service after today.
But the memories of the Dash 8 will linger.
It's been extremely special. I had a hoot.
In Bluntfield, Tennessee, I'm meteorologist Ricky Matthews for News 5 WCYB.
Had a hoot. The other half of an aging bourbon distillery warehouse came crashing down after it partially collapsed nearly 2 weeks ago. About 10,000 bourbon barrels came tumbling down at the Barton 1792 distillery this afternoon. Officials confirming that a fish and wildlife officer was dispatched to the facility. The agency has been involved in it since the first collapse. No injuries were reported in either collapse. A stolen pug is finally reunited with his elated owner. He was in the owner's car when it was stolen back in May.
Guido! Oh, my sweet boy, yes!
His owner had been desperately searching for the dog named Guido. An anonymous tip helped detectives locate this beloved pup. Police say the suspect abandoned the dog behind a supermarket immediately after the car was stolen. Guido wandered into a laundry business and he was taken care of by an employee for the past month. A very happy reunion indeed. Still ahead, how long would it take you to eat an entire pie? You won't believe how long it took one man. Coming up next. Dave?
Julie, today all I can say is watermelon would have hit the spot. But hey, don't go anywhere, Tri-Cities. I'll let you know when a big cool down will arrive in the Tri-Cities.
Storm Track 5 weather team, alerting you to severe weather danger.
Well, temperatures in the 90s for the 6th consecutive day. Anything by or associated with water was a good thing, right? And here's some water here. This from Joff Newman, from Julie's husband, downtown Bristol, the annual duck race benefiting the Lions Club of Bristol. I believe the winner of the duck race says they were racing downstream here, Beaver Creek. Well, not exactly racing. Floating downstream was $500, some other cash prizes, and a bicycle. Looks like a lot of fun. Maybe more fun actually being in the water floating down the Beaver Creek with their ducks. But anyway, we do still have some traffic on North State of Franklin. Folks heading home after the big fireworks display in Johnson City. 75 degrees current temperature. The dew point at 70, giving us a feels like. Actually has the current temperature of 75. Looking for lows tonight near 70, upper 60s, low 70s. It's going to be a muggy night, a light wind, and highs tomorrow. Actually may make it 7 days in a row for 90-plus degree weather in the Tri-Cities. Shooting for lower to middle 90s in the Tri-Cities. Greenville, Rogersville, Irwin, Elizabethton. Some mid to upper 80s for the mountains. Roan Mountain, Boone, Mountain City, low 90s, Jonesville, Gate City, also Abingdon, around 90 in Lebanon, 88 Norton, or Marion, I should say, and Norton, and 89 degrees in Clintwood. But we're going to have to talk about that heat index for yet another day. Not so much a factor for us in the morning. By lunchtime, though, going to maybe take the lunch outside, brown bag it. It'll be already about 90 degrees. It feels like temperature. And by later in the afternoon, that feels like temperature in the Tri-Cities will be in the mid to upper 90s once again. Some 80s across the higher elevations. And I think we'll see a few widely scattered showers pop up tomorrow afternoon. About 30% chance during the afternoon hours. About a 40 to 50% chance, though, developing tomorrow evening. You can see our latest forecast model suggesting by 9 o'clock, could be an area of showers and thunder showers coming through. And then on Friday, a cool front is going to start making its way from north to south across the Tri-Cities region, northeast Tennessee, southwest Virginia. So by 2 p.m., we could be tracking another line of showers and scattered thunderstorms coming across the Tri-Cities. So that's our weather maker, and we'll give a broader perspective of this and show you how that's going to affect temperatures as we go through the next couple of days. Still quite hot across really any direction you are traveling in the Tri-Cities, still about 90 to 95. Notice what happens on Friday and Saturday, though. Temperatures are going to be mainly in the low to mid 80s across our region. So here's the cool front. Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning, still north of us, but it's going to be slowly pushing through southern Appalachian region by Friday evening, right on top of us. And then as we head into the weekend, that front's going to settle on down to the south. Could be a few scattered showers still lingering on Saturday, but I think a high pressure will build in Sunday and early next week, keeping that high pressure down to the south and bringing in somewhat less humid air and some cooler temperatures, which will be a nice relief from what we've had the past week. Rainfall tallies as far as we go through Friday into Saturday. Most of this is probably going to happen Thursday night, Friday into Friday night. It looks like about 1/4 to 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch most areas. And I don't want to say that's a bad thing because it's been dry for most of us lately, and we're going to see dry weather once that front comes through for much of next week. So that may be our best shot of some moisture over the next 7 days. And with that, temperatures coming down, less humid, seasonably warm temperatures Sunday through Wednesday, and no mention of rain after Saturday through the rest, or at least the middle of next week. Lows could actually drop down into the 50s for a couple of mornings.
Dave, I certainly like that photographer who took that picture.
That
of the duck
was
race.
your lovely husband.
It was.
Thank you, Job.
They had a great time tonight. Beautiful weather tonight.
Great time in Bristol.
All right, thanks, Dave. So how fast do you think you could eat an entire key lime pie? And here's the catch. You can't use your hands. Well, contestants in South Florida sat down to find out. 24 people entered this contest. It's the Mile High Key Lime Pie Eating Contest. They dug in face first, fighting their way to the bottom of the pie pan. The winner devouring his 9-inch pie in just 1 minute and 40 seconds. Kind of fun way to find out.
If it was apple pie, I may be willing to give that a shot.
Not so much the key lime.
Yeah.
All right, well, Casey gets here with sports. Does not get more American tonight than baseball on the 4th of July.
No, it's a really American pastime. The Braves and Yankees playing this afternoon, battle of first place teams. Also, Johnson City Cardinals, they put a hurting on the Bristol Pirates on the 4th of July. Highlights next in sports. The Bristol Pirates won last night in Danville. The game ended around 9:30. Then you got to pack up, take a bus trip about 3.5 hours back to Bristol. So Pirates probably arriving back around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then they'd be back at the ballpark today for a noon first pitch. against the Johnson City Cardinals. So some tired Pirates probably this afternoon for their game. The Reds, of course, who's Johnson City played last night, they put a hurting on them. So Johnson City, they had some payback on their mind, want to get that sour taste out of their mouth. They're up 7-1 in the 7th. Bases loaded. Cardinals, Michael Perry chops one to short. Pirates get an out, but it also scores a run. Later, there's a wild pitch. Johnson City scores another run. They're up 9-1. But they weren't done. Michael Granberry for Bristol trying to make a comeback. Hits one deep to center. Almost a home run, but it falls just short, so it's a double. Pirates have runners on second and third. Chase Lambert hits one to left. Good enough for a sac fly. That makes it 10-2. The Cardinals, I said, they weren't done. They got one more in the 9th. Perry hits one to third. Pirates get a forced out, but another run comes in to score. Johnson City wins 11-2 over Bristol. Elsewhere in the Appy League tonight, Elizabethton beat Kingsport 4-3 thanks to a walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th by the Twins. In Greenville falls at home to Danville 6-3. Braves and Yankees playing the rubber match of their 3-game series this afternoon. The Braves won Monday night. The Yankees won last night. This is a battle of first-place teams. Julio Teheran on the mound for the Braves, but Giancarlo Stanton says a 3-run homer sounds good to me on the 4th of July. Yankees up 4-0. Next inning, Teheran gives up another long ball. Kyle Higashioka with a solo shot. Yankees up 5-0. The Bronx Bombers are back in a big way now. Yankees have so many young, talented players. Braves trying to rally. Johan Camargo, a solo shot. Would have liked to have some guys on base for that one, but it's 5-2 now. 7th inning, Aaron Judge. All rise for the Judge. 24th home run. Yankees win 6-2. They take the series over the Braves. And today, of course, being the 4th of July, a perfect day for fireworks, but here's some fireworks of a different kind. Carlos Gomez of the Tampa Bay Rays strikes out, and then he takes a few more swings on the water cooler. First with the bat, and then he starts to use his hands here. This Gatorade cooler is in a bad place, and yeah, you knew what was coming. Frustration gets the best of you sometimes. If he took some swings like that on the field, maybe he wouldn't have struck out. And finally, Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm suffered a small fracture in his non-throwing hand in a boating accident on Monday. Georgia head coach Kirby Smart telling ESPN the injury was insignificant and adding that Fromm has already resumed throwing again. Last year as a true freshman, Fromm threw for over 2,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, leading Georgia to the college football playoff semifinals. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis. British counterterrorism police are now investigating after 2 people exposed to an unknown substance are left in critical condition. This is happening in Amesbury in south central England. It's just 8 miles from where a former Russian spy and his daughter were poisoned earlier this year. Given the proximity, counterterrorism officers are now working with local police. Health officials do not believe that there's a wider risk to the public. ISIS says that the son of leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed fighting Syrian and Russian troops. The terror group's social media posts include a picture of a young boy carrying a rifle. While there have been numerous reports that the elder al-Baghdadi has been killed, it is now widely believed that he is still alive. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis.
Help News 5 get the facts right. If you see news happening, contact News 5 by phone or email.
Dave Dirks and I just comparing 4th of July food, fried chicken.
My lovely wife, Natalie, a good Southern comfort food right there. Not
perfect
best for our figure, I guess, but it was delicious.
Delicious. It's a sometimes food, as Cookie Monster would say.
Right, exactly. But anyway, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July.
Indeed.
And I hope you had a wonderful meal and had a good time celebrating our country's independence. But time to get back to work, gang, and we're going to be sweating again tomorrow, especially if you work outside for a living, because we'll hit the low to mid-90s again tomorrow. And looks like we'll see cooler and wetter weather by Friday. May actually stay in the 80s for a change.
That will be a welcome change
Yes,
indeed. Thanks for staying up with us for News 5 tonight at 11. We'll see you back here tomorrow.